Hello Sagittarius, Sagittarius Rising, and Sagittarius Moon people. This is Nico and Rambo here with your astrological and card horoscope for the week starting August 21st, 2017. And a quick reminder for everybody, I do know there's an eclipse going on this week, but I actually did cover that in the monthly astrology horoscopes for August, and they are on a playlist of their very own on the main channel page. And if you do need help getting there, you can always just click on the Scarlet Moon screen name. That's underneath the video. I think he sees a bird. And you can, go straight there. And of course, if you ever want to get a session with me, you can go to my website, integrativemysticism.com. So, what is going on with the astrology this week anyway? Well, on Tuesday, the 22nd/23rd, if you're in the Eastern Hemisphere, remember to adjust it a day forward, we've got Mars, planet of action and energy, in your 9th house of travel, mental expansion, your spiritual life, higher education, academia, and government and legal proceedings, forming a gorgeous trine to Saturn, currently in your sign. And whenever we have Saturn and Mars come together in a harmonious way like this, you often have to think about getting rid of a challenge or a burden that we've learned to live with. Whether it's a fear, whether it's an insecurity, whether it's an obstacle, a practical, real-world, mundane obstacle, or something interpersonal. And this is going on between these areas. Now this could be a burden or perhaps a block in terms of paperwork, licenses, permits, degrees, education limits, resume limits, or possibly even a technology limitation that you've learned to live with. This may be actually something that we can get over or clear this week. Whatever has been kind of hanging out in the ethers that you've had to overcompensate for, we will be able to actually remove. Later on Saturday, or into Sunday if you're in the Eastern Hemisphere, we've got Mercury, currently retrograde, your 10th house of career, forming a gorgeous conjunction with the Sun. And whenever the Sun and Mercury retrograde come together, it brings out the best of Mercury retrograde, and there is such a thing. When Mercury retrograde and the Sun come together, we are talking about getting something back better than it was when we had it in the first place. Now whether this is an old assignment, perhaps even an old opportunity to work in an old vocation, or for an old boss, or maybe even an old route to take when it comes to our career or our work opportunities, you might want to let this thing come back into your space. Whoever's coming back from the past or whatever's coming back from the past is new and improved, and it is actually meant to be boomeranging back to you. So what is going on with your cards this week then? Well, for your spiritual advice, we do have the card of the cat, appropriately enough, considering me. Well, with the cat, we think about the need to pay attention to, again, exercising our free will. And understanding that we do have a responsibility and an obligation to honor our free will. And this week it's all about paying attention to where it's okay to dissent for the sake of your own boundaries, for the sake of your own self-protection, the sake of your own, for the sake of your own sovereignty. The cat is one who's okay with going against the rules. The cat is one who is okay to not do what it is expected to do simply out of compliance or adherence to any kind of rule, policy, or tradition. And the cat is talking about actually, exercising one's ability to think independently, of our conditioning. There is power. More people get things done when they're thinking outside what has been handed down to them, either through culture, through tradition, through parentage. And this week you may be encountering challenges a lot where you notice that people are just doing things unconsciously because that's how it's being done. But understanding the meaning and the choice you have to do it in the first place, well, that's actually a sign of being awake. For your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and finances, we do have the Three of Swords reversed. And again, we do see a patching up going on here. The Three of Swords reversed is not necessarily the best kind of patch-up card, whether this is, again, the recovery of an opportunity, recovery of lost finances, or the recovery of perhaps even some kind of other, I guess you could say, issue that's kind of happened around you. The Three of Swords reversed does indicate a patch-up nonetheless, but it may be a test of whether we can forgive and forget at the same time when it comes to handling this issue. Whether this is a person paying us back money that is owed to us, or perhaps actually somebody, completing less than all of their side of a deal that you have made. When it comes to work and personnel, however, this can actually be a very good card. While we may be sweeping some tension and some controversy under the rug, I do think that with this card, it's actually saying, you know what, it may be worth it. Okay, and again, we have opportunities coming back to you, maybe things that were meant to be rightfully yours in the first place. Don't deny yourself this return just because it may not necessarily seem like somebody else has learned his or her lesson. For your communications with air when it comes to your friends, your relatives, the others in your life, we've got the Two of Pentacles upright. And it looks like this week a lot of people are putting you in a position to try and be inclusive while at the same time almost choosy, a bit too much. Juggling external priorities. People's priorities are starting to compete with your priorities or your ability to prioritize them. You know, when friends and family compete with each other for your time, that can actually be a bit of a struggle. And with the Two of Pentacles upright, this week may be all about that. You may be actually extremely popular, but also you may be noticing people are making plans very well knowing that other plans are already in the works. And this can actually prove to be a bit of a sitcom kind of a week if you're not careful. So be careful when you notice people are actually doing that. If you know that something's going on and yet, or that somebody knows something's going on and yet they're trying to pull you away from it anyway for their own sake, could be a mild manipulation. Probably not necessarily anything vicious, possibly just an insecurity or discomfort, but it will have to be called for what it is. For your challenge this week with fire, we do have the Three of Cups upright. Again, social inclusiveness. Being able to actually make time for everybody. Being able to actually have everybody happily working together in their own space. We may even be working on patching up some friction between friends and family members this week. Maybe you haven't necessarily thought about being the mediator, and maybe you don't have to be a mediator. Sometimes people don't need a mediator, they need somebody to call out bullshit so they can just stop whatever spiral they're on. And the Three of Cups is kind of saying this week, you know, your challenge is going to be the peacemaker or peace enforcer as far as that's concerned. The nice thing is it does also bring a guarantee of a happy ending, so don't be afraid to take up that cup. For your emotions with water and your romantic life, we've got the Knight of Wands upright. Beautiful card for love and romance because this does indicate a lot of, let's just say, recreational opportunities between you and a lover. In fact, you may be noticing that either a lover or maybe even the both of you is getting a lot more handsy and possibly just a bit more revved up. And this may actually be a really, really fun week for a lot of you, especially if you're trying to get the spark going or maybe just fan the flame into something bigger. For those of you who are single and looking, the Knight of Wands could indicate somebody who's a lot like you, a fire sign like yourself, like a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Leo, actually starting to show interest or trying to break conversation. One of the easy things when you get the Knight of Wands, though, is that they usually make the first move. So that is your horoscope. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you ever want to get a session with me, you can always follow the links below or go to integrativemysticism.com.